over. So she went through the usual, the routine of doctor coming and giving medicine and this, that and so on. But then at the end, when the time actually of her departure came, she told the family that, see, I would like to see my father. So he had to be called. He had gone out on a social visit to help the other family, which he did very often. And so when he returned very quickly, after hearing that she was in a very serious state, so when he returned, he told her, well, my dear daughter, to repeat the same thing once again, are you all right, etc.? And she says, yes, I am perfectly all right, younger brother. Now when she said younger brother, obviously she was talking from the standpoint of Paramatha Satya. See, here two things should be understood. That a communication is possible in two ways. You can communicate reality, or if you are talking about truth, you can communicate truth in two ways. One in a conventional way, where you use the conceptual, the conventional terms, etc., and which is of course just a makeshift, arrangement which human beings do to enable them to live a kind of organized life. So there the question of father, mother, brother, sister, all these sort of things come. My property, my daughter, my this, my that. All those things are conventional usages. Whereas from the ultimate standpoint, a human being can be reduced to 5 aggregates of phenomena, both material and mental. Ultimately, a person can be reduced to mind and nama, and aggregates of mental aggregates, and rupa, that is the physical or material aggregate, the body. Mind and body, ultimately, the whole thing gets reduced to that. Now, if you are going to call everybody mind and body, you can't live an organized life at all. So, in order to, to be able to identify each individual, and according to the task assigned to a particular individual and so on, you have to use you have to give name, and the whole conventional way of living social life, family life, all that develops on that. So now, at the last moment of her existence, she was already a spiritually highly evolved person. So she used the Paramatha mode, and she wanted to send a message to the father, because at the last moment she said, I want to talk to him, and this talking to him with a purpose. So she wanted to give him this message that, look, you have attained spiritual transformation at the very first stage, and you have to put forth effort further to go to the various stages, other stages. The enlightenment process, as such, it is a process. There is no such thing as sudden enlightenment, where you suddenly become a saint and an enlightened person, a liberated person from the bondages of samsaric existence. No. There are 4 distinct stages of enlightenment. They are known as the 4 lokuttara, jnana. That is the 4 supramundane or transmundane stages of insight, experience of ultimate reality. It's an insightful experience. where you see, you experience reality as it is, without using conventional terms, without using concepts. These are all mental constructs. So any of that, you directly experience truth. And in terms of, you see, the phenomena, you can, so a man can be ultimately reduced to these 5 aggregates, as I mentioned. Panchakhanda, the 5 aggregates. The aggregate of the body, representing the aggregate of matter or materiality, and the mind, which represents 4 aggregates, the aggregate of feelings, aggregate of perception or memory, aggregate of mental formations, and aggregate of consciousness, the mind. Here consciousness means, to be conscious means to know. So when we talk of knowledge, we are talking of this, the aggregate. It's a whole complex. Knowledge is knowing something, to be conscious of something. So that's an aggregate by itself. It's an aggregate by its very, by the term itself. You see, it means a complex phenomena. It's not just one thing. Many things put together, a concatenation of conditions. They form an aggregate. So all these aggregates put together make what we call a man or a woman or some other name that you say, Indian or a Chinese or an American or a Negro or whatever. So these names are put in order to identify phenomena, things, that's all. So here the young person, the Sumana Devi, she was looking, using it purely from the standpoint of ultimate truth, and she wanted to send a message to the father. She wanted to send a message as an act of great gratitude. She loved, obviously, her father, and she said, "Father, you must wake up now, put forth effort, go forward. I am going. We all have to go one day. Nobody is permanent in this world. Samsara, or worldly existence, is characterized by certain laws. Number 1, the law of impermanence. Everything is changing constantly. Nothing is permanent. So in this impermanent context of existence, everything is uncertain. Whatever is impermanent, you can't be certain of it. It is, you see, it's basically unpredictable. Whatever is changeful, whatever is impermanent and uncertain, cannot be stable. And that which is not stable cannot be perfect, cannot be depended upon. So ultimately life, if you look at life from the standpoint of ultimate truth, that is anicca, anityam, impermanent, you will see from the standpoint of the ultimate truth, when you look at life as impermanent, you really can't hold on to it. You'll have to give up your attachment for life. It falls away, so to say. A person who is spiritually transformed, who has become a Sotapanna, you see, his world is very different. His perceptions of everything very different indeed. So she was talking from the ultimate standpoint, while he used the normal, conventional usage. My daughter, How are you, my daughter? Are you all right, etc. So these are conventional ways of communication. So while he remained at the conventional level, she was in the ultimate level. So that is why there was this, the message did not actually reach. So there are two different levels of communication. That is why he temporarily became emotional. But as soon as Lord Buddha reminded him, look here, this is the reality of impermanence. Death is it's nothing but a dramatization of the law of impermanence. In a very dramatic manner, you see, here you are, my most dear ones, my father, my mother, my sister, my brother, my daughter, my son. He was just now here, now no more. That sudden awakening to a state of, you see, this impermanence, the law of impermanence, it creates two different reactions altogether. One is the reaction where you become emotional. Oh, loss. So you grieve, you lament, you cry. Loss, a sense of loss. You are filled with sorrow. The other is a profound sense of insightful understanding of truth, of life. There you become sober, calm. So now, you see, the message was not carrying. There are two levels. So when he became, and the impact was very, very sudden. He had come from somebody else's house. And here he was confronted with this thing, the daughter was dying. He never thought that the daughter is going to die. He had appointed doctors, that, the whole paraphernalia, they were all there. So suddenly this, you see, so in his stage of enlightenment, obviously, you see, that was just the initial stage. Therefore, this kind of slip could occur, and it occurred. So when the Buddha reminded him, look here, death is the only certain thing. Everything passes away. So do not become emotional. Calm down and try to understand things according to ultimate reality. He accepted forthwith. No question about it. And he accepted and he says, yes, Lord, I have understood. So he changed his everything thereafter. Now, there are a number of important points which we need to understand here. Number one is, what exactly is enlightenment? Now that is the goal of life. For all spiritual seekers, all seekers of perfection, all seekers who want to attain the state, the deathless state, Amara Bhava, deathless, the state of immortality, the state of ultimate bliss and happiness. Because in the context of impermanence, whatever happiness you achieve also is impermanent, is bound to change. It cannot be a lasting happiness at all. And it is not. Life itself is changing. You are young, very good, you behave like a young fellow, all kinds of foolish ways. And then you become further a youth, you see. Then you are filled with all kinds of the youthful delusions and a sense of beauty and permanence and that power and all that sort of thing. You are drugged, so to say. You are intoxicated with your youth. Now, then comes the middle age and the responsibility of the family. By then you have already got involved, you are a married person, you have got children, you have got to earn, and you have got all social obligations and family responsibilities. There you completely get lost in all that, and the question of searching for ultimate truth and all that, no, it does not occur. Then you get completely intoxicated with what you like, the pleasures of life. All the sensual pleasures you enjoy all your life, and you get totally caught in that. Then as you grow old, and you see the body is subject to all kinds of diseases, and then it becomes frail and delicate, and you can't eat all that you wanted to, you enjoyed all your life. Your capacity to eat, everything is gone now. You can't see things your eye doesn't see. You can't hear things properly. All these, one by one, all your faculties fail. So when you come to that stage and you become aware, yes, life indeed is impermanent. But then it is too late. The mind has been already conditioned to think in a certain manner, to behave in a certain manner, to perceive objects in a certain manner. So though you become aware of the impermanence of things, it is too late because you have not cultivated your life during the period that you have, you see. So that is why the Buddha always said, look here, the mind gets easily conditioned. It gets habituated because of being familiarized to all kinds of concepts and ways of thinking and perceiving and so on. So, take up your spiritual, the task of getting spiritually perfected. And what is this task of getting spiritually perfected? If you are subject to greed, cut down greed. And that you can do by accepting a principled way of living a lifestyle. Now, if you are fond of taking a lot of meat and this and that, therefore you go and indulge in hunting. You say, it's my birthright to kill. God has created animal for me to eat. But if the same logic is applied by the animal, saying, oh, God has created man for me to eat, you don't accept that logic. But you impose that logic when it comes to your enjoying the thing. So that is one way of, this is how the world gets used to all this sort of thing. And they can't get out of it. But there are people who say, no, let me not live, you see, a violent life. So, well, food need not be, you see, you need not kill to eat something. Now, we have developed a society, a kind of civilization where everything is available in plenty. You go to a market, you can buy anything you like, if you have the money. So, if you are a vegetarian, non-vegetarian, you love it, very good. Go and buy something which is already a dead matter, and there it doesn't involve you in killing. But you can at the same time, you see, satisfy your tongue. And if you are spiritually evolved, you don't care about any food anyway. Because food is only to support the body and keep the body in a fit condition so that you can deal with the mind and you can perfect your mind, develop your mind, all the you see, inner possibilities of the mind. Mind is a very great mind, M-I-N-E, a repository of great power, great knowledge, great wisdom. So cultivate the mind. So a wise person, therefore, will not be, you see, caught by these habits. To begin with the habit formation, he will one by one give up. So, no killing, but you see, promote the well-being of all life. practice metta. So as you change your lifestyle, change your mode of thinking and everything, life itself becomes very different. And by the time you become an old man, you get used to this Panchashila discipline. You don't kill, you don't steal, you don't commit sexual misconduct, you don't tell lies, you don't drink alcoholic beverages and so on. So you see, shape your life, you manage your life in such a way that while you enjoy whatever there is, but you don't hurt anybody. If you give up killing, well, you are giving abhayadana. You are giving a gift of fearlessness to hundreds and thousands of innocent creatures. So this life of moral and, you see, ethical perfection. Spiritual life starts with moral and ethical purity. So once you develop with this Panchashila, your Shila, and Shila Vishuddhi, purity of moral conduct, virtuous conduct, once you do that, mind also undergoes a change. And the mind undergoing a change, then everything becomes very, very different in life. With a pure moral conduct, you meditate. Now, if you practice, for instance, this non-killing amounts to metta, universal love. Now, there is a way of cultivating universal love by way of practicing meditation. So, as you take up these disciplines at the you see, moral or ethical level, then at the mental level, you purify the mind totally through your meditation and so on, and allow insights into reality to grow, wisdom to grow. So wisdom is not merely just knowledge, it's much more than that. So this way, as you see, live, you manage your life in a new way, your life becomes very different. And at the end, though the body becomes very weak and delicate and very frail, the mind becomes strong, powerful. So this story of Anathapindika, it deals with gati, that means our destiny. And we will continue with this series next week, and we'll take up all the historical, the case histories, and go into you see, what exactly is the process of enlightenment, all the 4 stages. Then what is the process of living as an unenlightened being? How this unenlightened existence can be turned into an enlightened existence. So all these very practical and important points in life, all these we'll have to go through. We have to examine and investigate and see, so that improve the quality of life. So with this I conclude. May the grace of Lord Buddha surround your lives with wisdom and well-being. May you all be happy and well. Sukhino bhavantu.